All right, guys, welcome back. And before we enjoy the video coming up, let's look at this beautiful original art by Quentin Hoover, The Headless Horseman. Yes, the head is gone. This art sold for multi-five figures recently. And I want to talk more in this video about Magic original art, where it's heading, where I think it's going to go in the future for 2024. And let's have a discussion today. Enjoy the video, guys. Beautiful piece of art. Iconic as hell. Beautiful.
Vintage Magic. Game, collect, invest. For more information about our consulting and professional services, visit vintagemagic.com.
All right, guys, we're going to keep this one short as much as we can, but we're going to get right into this one. This is about, you're right, poking your mom. Pokemon. Real quick, Joey is a collector investor here in New York. He had an interesting take. He said Pokemon will go to...
Zero. Absolutely nothing. Worthless. Singles,
like zero.
Singles will die out. There is no desirability for the singles. For the new stuff, it might transcend based off the newer generation and what they decide to do with it. The older cards, I think they're just gonna go flat. If not, they're currently flat. They never appreciated as high as they should have. And I think the desirability isn't as strong as what people are led on to believe.
You're talking about, wait. First edition Charizard,
Yep.
Blastoise,
Yep.
Venusaur, all those dudes.
Yes.
Lugios, whatever I don't know
Yes.
all the sets.
Yep.
They'll go to literally nothing.
Literally nothing. Do you know the print run of Pokemon first edition?
I don't know.
I don't know either, and I don't care to know. I just know that they're overprinted. No, they are. They're overprinted because they cater to a mass media business strategy. So it was, how much money can we make selling these cards to support the original IP? The goal wasn't to play with them or to introduce a game that would withstand the test of time. Obviously, there are tournaments out there. The prize pools may be high and grand, but there isn't a connection with the cards that people had back when they were growing up with them. We all collected them. We never played with them. I don't think I've ever played a game of Pokemon. I've had a first edition Charizard. Sold it for like 50 or 100 bucks back in the day. Traded them for actually some Magic Gathering cards. I guess it was a smart move. Not really, but I think it's just...
Wait, hold on a second. A lot of people are going to be like, this guy's just hating on Pokemon. Why are they going to go to zero? I don't understand. Like, don't you think like 1,000 years from now, people are going to like remember Charizard and all those dudes?
They can. They want to. They can buy at any price that they want. But the longevity of it all is going to be what started it all. And when you look at that, it might be the video games over the actual cards. So if you look at the video game market for Pokemon, I think that's holding more value. A sealed, graded VGA, people don't like WATA anymore, so they go after VGA or CGC. I think if you get a sealed copy of Pokemon Red or the original Blue and whatever, those would actually hold better value than the actual cards themselves. And I think once a collector or an investor has one PSA 10 Charizard, let's say, Gary, the Pokemon King, is entitled to whatever direction he wants to go. And I actually spoke to him in person at Pokemon Saves the World. This was 2 years ago. Dumb Money Live held an event exclusively for people that they want to bring into their YouTube videos. And I attended the event, and Gary, the Pokemon King, was there, and I spoke to him. And I asked him, how many Legend sets do you have of Magic Gathering? Because I just bought one for Mark, good old buddy Mark. And he said he has two and only two, and he doesn't believe in Magic Gathering. Well, Gary, I don't believe in Pokemon. And I think people are entitled to their own opinions, but when you put pencil to paper and you write the benefits and the stipulations behind why something can withstand the test of time, I think everything points to Magic Gathering versus Pokemon. I think the upbringing, the celebrity aspect of it all, and the fame and the stardom that brought Magic and propelled it to where it was, from where it was to now, is huge. And I think...
Wait a second, you just said in our video debate, and I'll put the link below,
Yes.
you just said Magic's going to go to zero except certain cards.
Except certain cards.
But why is Pokemon in general just going to go to zero?
for the same reason Magic the Gathering is. So, so the desirability to get all the cards and set collecting is not going to be there. To get a one of one doesn't exist in Pokemon. I mean,
there's no serialized stuff.
There's no serialized stuff until they switch over, but again, that's for this generation's gain and whatever they want to do to manipulate the market, so to speak. But I think it's all artificial scarcity and demand. I think it's all just hyped from YouTubers and people who are into the business of Pokemon for not really appreciating what it has to offer. And I know there's a lot of people who are going to bash me on the comments and everywhere else. And I'm sorry, Dan, for
I mean, this is not my opinion, but this is your opinion. I thought it was an interesting view on it. I think you're kind of supporting it. I just don't understand why, for example, why Ancestral Recall, Black Lotus, those type of stuff, Alpha would be worth anything if Charizard, which is a super iconic creature for Pokemon,
it's super iconic.
Why would that not be worth, or the trainer $5 million card Logan Paul has?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't that be worth what it is?
So again, to the generational spans across several.
Are you saying that generations will not like Pokemon?
And they're not going to not like it. They just won't gravitate towards it. So it's just going to be another animated series that had its presence at one point in time. It's sort of like the collapse of the sports card market back in the 80s when a lot of people were livid with their collections going to zero. And so they abandoned the art form and media. And I think there's going to be a mass exodus of Pokemon collectors and investors at one point in time. And I think it's actually going to hit us sooner than later.
Really?
I think there's going to be a rude wake-up call when they realize that the print run for a lot of these cards are going to be stuck in bulk binders because people can't liquidate their collections because everyone else is doing so. Sort of what we're seeing with Magic today.
Right.
I've never seen so many collections flood the market as I've seen today. I mean, I'm getting 50% haircuts as far as deals for some of the most iconic cards in Magic that I thought would stand the test of time in a decade or two from now. And so that made me restructure my portfolio as far as rotating inventory, but also have another perspective as far as the longevity of the collectible space as a whole. And
how about vintage Pokemon's boxes?
Boxes are different.
Now, why is that?
Because as Rudy would say, he coined the term, you can break boxes into singles, but you can't reform singles into boxes. And I think sealed product in general is a piece that can be displayed and warrant attention in a large room versus singles where you would sort of have to frame them and keep them separately. And so singles will always be considered bulk because they're always stored together, whereas boxes can be put on display, can be basically broken up. Say if you have a box break, you can always
say a first edition Charizard is bulk.
You
just the singles are bulk.
I know. Today,
that's going to be the title, by the way.
Let's do it. Today, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, it may not be bulk. Mom's saying 30, 40, 50 years from now, yes.
We're all passed away.
Passed away.
Because this generation still is loving it.
There won't be a new Pokemon to replace Pokemon.
Oh, I see.
There will
so
be.
You're saying that this Pokemon era, what we know of, will be eclipsed by some other Pokemon era later on.
Yes.
Just like another Magic the Gathering era, but you somehow claim that Black Lotus will survive, not Charizard.
Yes.
Why?
So I think
I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to justify a little bit more than just saying it.
Absolutely. So I think with Magic,
why is Black Lotus equivalent to a Charizard, which is the top card?
Yes.
Why is that going to survive?
So I think the roots that Magic put together to focus on one media, one aspect of the game, which is all eyes are on the Black Lotus as being the premier card. Nowadays with Pokemon, we see some graded cards that were released a year ago, 2 years ago, performing some of the older cards. So you could buy a base set of Pokemon cards, which is unheard of, for a complete base set of Pokemon cards, shadowless or not, for less than one PSA 10 Charizard or Pikachu VMAX at that time when it was at its peak dollar value. And so that made no sense to me. That a card that was printed recently outweighs. Now you could say the same thing with the one ring from Magic the Gathering being expensive than an Alpha Black Lotus. Yeah, but when there's disposable income from some of these celebrities going into the game and to the hobby, that's bound to happen. But for the average collector or investor, such as myself and many others, when you put that in perspective, you're like, okay, this is a little weird. Something that just got printed is worth more than something that's supposed to be iconic and desirable and be the roots and the foundation.
Are you saying a new Charizard is being more valuable than a
shadowless base? Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about regular shadow base.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. Okay. First edition. Now, eventually, that's going to teeter-totter.
But you're not. Okay, hold on, Joey.
Yeah.
I'm saying a PSA 10 first edition Charizard.
Yes.
Why is that going to not the same value, like importance, as a Alpha Black Lotus PSA 10?
Because it warrants its value. It's reigned supreme. It's sold on markets for dollar values that are.
But so has the Pokemon card.
Well, I don't think there's a Pokemon card outside of the painter and illustrator,
Yeah.
right? That's
millions of dollars.
Yeah, and then there's only how many copies? 20 copies, I believe.
I don't know. Yeah.
Something like that. And so they're trying to reach for something. I mean, there's so many different one-of-one.
Well, how about the first edition Charizard? I just named like $200,000 something.
Yeah. So at $200,000. We've seen Black Lotuses sell for $800,000, $600,000, and that's because there's one person who's putting in money into
Post Malone, sure.
Post Malone, but there are other private investors who would put that kind of money, and you've made a sale for we just spoke.
Yeah,
about.
well, I mean, there's ones that are actually higher than 500 all the
Way
time.
higher. Yeah. And so,
Interesting.
what gravitates people towards Magic the Gathering versus Pokemon is the roots and the memories and the global presence that a lot of people who played Magic back in the day can relate to a lot more than Pokemon. I think Pokemon was someone's childhood come and go situation versus where Magic, they grew up with Magic from start to finish, and once they leave, they always find a way to come back because it's the game that brings them together. With Pokemon, there's nothing that really brings them back. Other than the Logan Paul boom where they can say, I can make money with this. Versus Magic, it's all organic. I think the difference between, and to answer your question, Dan, the difference between Magic and Pokemon is that Magic Gathering warrants organic growth and demand. Pokemon, I feel, is inflated, it's artificial, it's all hype, and people don't understand that there are circumstances and reasons for why things are desirable. And first and foremost, and it's why I think there's only a few alpha cards that will stand the test of time, is because once you lose the playability, just like Pokemon, I don't think there's playability in Pokemon. Once you lose that playability, then all bets are off. And so it goes into what are museum pieces. And with Magic the Gathering, the artwork, the style, the way it transcends history. It's not a cartoon. It's more of appreciation.
Wow, you're going to. This is going to be a hard video for comments.
Yeah,
you're going to be a lot. I mean, I hope people respond, please. People like.
Yeah.
It's a cartoon, but that is more than a cartoon. It's an icon. It's an
icon, but it can lose its value when you look back into.
Or it will.
It will.
In your eyes.
Yes.
Okay, well, there we go, guys. Garrett from Pokemon. I don't know if he's watching this, but geez Louise. All right, you'll probably say Joey's, isn't a nobody. He's just a random dude, but that's his opinion. And you know what? It's a worthy opinion. I thought it was an interesting take. Guys, comment below. I
Put it this way. I hope I'm wrong about that. I hope I'm wrong about that because there's a lot of people who are deeply rooted and invested into Pokemon and will be for a while until stardom loses its form, which is YouTube and all the other. I mean, YouTube, I think, created Pokemon investing. Right. I don't think there was any investing before the advent of YouTube. And so once that media platform diminishes, I think all bets are off, and God help you if you have large bags into Pokemon, because I think it's going to be very hard and illiquid as far as an asset to have invested into. If you're a collector, that's a different story because the passion's still there. But
Doesn't matter what it's worth, yeah.
Doesn't matter what it's worth.
But it's going to zero anyway, so sell them to Joey for nothing.
Hey, I will gladly take them for free, actually.
Oh, wow. All right, guys, take care. Jeez. Have a good one. Hey guys, it's me, Daniel, with VintageMagic.com. I'm here to share with you more about our deck and set collector fulfillment service. The deck fulfillment service caters to the player. And what that basically means is if you are a player looking to fulfill your old school Magic deck, certain Power 9 or key pieces in your Vintage deck, or dual lands in your Legacy deck, we have the inventory and the resources to help you fulfill your needs. Next, we have the set collector fulfillment service. This really caters more towards the collector. Oftentimes I've been asked, hey Dan, can you help me find this specific graded card for this set? Or Dan, can you find me these 20 cards left in my beta set? It doesn't matter what you're looking for, even if it's like every single Sarah Angel possible out there, I can help you out. My resources and extensive network in Magic the Gathering, I was able to help thousands of clients all over the world fulfill their needs. I've made it my mission at VintageMagic.com to be your one-stop shop for all your collector needs. For any significant item or collection, we're able to travel anywhere in the world to meet you. The reason why my clients love this service is because it saves you time. What happens is collectors and players often search all over online or at vendors and they never find exactly what they're looking for. By going to us, we are the only one-stop shop who can help you with your needs. Using our service gets you exactly what you want and saves you time and money.
Vintage Magic. Game, collect, invest. For more information about our consulting and professional services, visit vintagemagic.com.